Truth spoken here with your host, the Maestro A.D.C. McLeod. That's me, y'all. Okay, y'all, welcome to another episode of Truth Spoken Here. This is my first episode of the year 2023. So I want to wish you all a Happy New Year, and here's hoping that it's the year that you fulfill, or I should say obtain, all the desires of your heart. Now, I'm coming to you on the eve of the Dr. Martin Luther King holiday. And I think this is a time every year for us to reflect, especially as African Americans in this country. We need to reflect upon the legacy of Dr. King. And the question remains that in the years since 1968, when Dr. King was assassinated, how much has really changed in this country in regards to African Americans? Now, there seemed to be a time after the Civil Rights era in the 70s and 80s when it seems like we were kind of going in the right direction. But of course, there was always the same stuff that's always plagued the black community. Lack of education. Not that education wasn't available, but in many cases, schools were like war zones. So, we didn't always get the best. Our schools weren't always in the best areas. Also, you had violence, black on black crime, high teen pregnancy rates, high dropout rates among us. And pretty much these things are still things that plague our community. You see, I'm not one of these people that thinks that we should always blame somebody else for whatever problems we have. Because if you look at history, I think we as black people in this country, I think we've somewhat been our own worst enemy. And we've, as much as we can say the other races have done against us, particularly white people, there are things that we either own ourselves that we've done. And that's not to excuse any of the atrocities that were perpetrated against us. Now, you've seen in the last few years, well, let's say going back to the election of Obama back in 2018 when he took office in 2009, you've seen sort of like backlash where there's this hate that a special kind of hate for us now. There's a special kind of hate for President Obama, of course, and now that's trickled down to hatred of us. And then, as a result of President Obama serving 2 terms, 8 years, they went out and elected the most vile and bold candidate that they could find in President Donald Trump. This guy, the reason he resonated with them is because he spoke things that maybe they were hesitant to say, but then it's like once he got elected, he made it okay for people to use the N-word. They just act in general hateful toward people who weren't like them to some degree. I can remember one year I think it was about 4 years ago, maybe going on 5 years now. It was 4th of July, and I was going to get breakfast one morning in my car. This motorcyclist pulled in front of me. I had to slam on brakes to keep from hitting him. He then turned around as he's riding, gave me the middle finger, and said, "Fuck you, nigger." And he went on down the road, and of course, I kind of like put me in a place, made me feel some kind of way. I didn't let it ruin my day, but it was on my mind for quite a while. That was the day that I think it became real to me how bad this situation, this divisiveness is in this country. Now, that could have ended very badly because I could have followed him in my car, and I'll say this: I don't even own a gun, so most of the time if they're bold enough to say stuff like that, you can believe that they're packing. So I took the high road, I guess. They said discretion is the better part of valor, so I guess I decided not to even follow up on that. I just went on about my business, but it did upset me. I guess because I haven't heard that word so long, as far as from a white person. Of course, we use that word freely in the black community amongst ourselves and stuff. But that's with the A, not with the ER on the end. But at the end of the day, neither one is very good. But it's a term of endearment, sort of, in the black community. Or it can be, I should say. But getting back to the time that has passed since Dr. King's assassination, and how far we've come in America, I would just overall look at things and say that we still have a lot of work to do. We have to get back to this each one teach one mentality. I almost 60 years old. I will be 60 years old in July of this year, which is right around the corner. Because time is flying, as we get older, time flies, it seems like. But I lived long enough to see some things in this country that I didn't think I'd see again. And I have to say, right now, the black community is probably in worse shape than I've seen it in my life, in my almost 60 years of life. The black community is in worse shape than I've seen it in. We already talked about the black on black crime, teenage pregnancy, another thing I didn't mention was the high incarceration rate for us. We're more likely to go to prison than to go to college. And then on top of that, we're the most self-hating people that there are on the face of the earth, it seems like. Now, I don't know whether black people all over the world, you go to the African diaspora. I don't know whether it's like that for them over there too. I don't know, because I was recently looking at an article where an African man boldly stated that they don't want us over there. When I say us, I'm talking about black Americans. They don't want us over there, and that we are not their brothers and sisters. So, we got that kind of hatred for ourselves, for our own race. Like, you wonder, is there any hope and stuff? And it's like we hate us and we hate anything that reminds us of us. So we have to stop this self-hatred and really start being our brother's keeper again. I remember when I was growing up, I started school the year that they integrated the schools, 1969. That's when I started school, first grade. Now prior to that, we were in an all-black school. School down the street was I think grades 1 through 12. I missed out on the opportunity or that experience of going to an all-black school, and often hear people talk about what it was like, because during that time you had teachers that lived right in your community. These teachers not only lived in your community, they went to church with your mother and father. They knew your parents. Some of them would be guests, maybe dinner guests at the Sunday at the church or whatever. And pretty much we were in a good place. Now, am I saying that we should go back to segregation as far as schools and the other things? I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying I think that we were better off then, because we had more of a sense of community that we don't have anymore, it seems. I can remember going to my neighbor's house and maybe, misbehaving, and I would get a spanking there, and then, of course, she would call my mother and grandmother, my grandmother and mother. My grandmother really raised me. My mom was in the picture though, and she would call them, and you gonna get a spanking when you got back home too. That's the way it worked, So, till we get back to that mentality that it takes a village to raise a child, and each one teach one, and we get back to this. We embrace this concept that I am my brother's keeper. We're going to continue to be in the same shape that we're in. We're going to be in these deplorable conditions. Now, yes, society has set these snares for us. But just because those snares are set for you, we've known this since time immemorial. And just because these snares are set does not mean that you have to become entangled in them. So, on this day, I hope that we will take this day as a reflection, as a day of reflection, brother, to reflect on what Dr. King's dream was and what his legacy was and should be and what it can be, yet if we will all work towards that goal. And with that, I'm not even talking about the black community, because one of the things people overlook about Dr. King is that Dr. King When Dr. King was killed, Dr. King was in there in Memphis doing I think sanitation workers, some kind of protest with the sanitation workers. And it was a poor people's campaign, basically. Dr. King tried to show poor whites and poor blacks, particularly in the South, that they should work together for a common goal and put aside all that foolishness. Because you see, all that stuff when, they keep us arguing over something like a Confederate flag or a monument that we found offensive or whatever, stuff like that. If they can keep us arguing about stuff like that, then our focus is not on what they're doing. We live in a country where our leaders, the powers that be, whatever you want to call them, have profited from us being divided. And that's what Dr. King was trying to show us. So, I repeat, as I said, I just hope that today we will all take time and reflect on what Dr. King's legacy and his dream meant and what it could be if we'd all do a little self-correction, a little self-examination, and a little self-correction. Thank you, and that is my podcast for today. May God bless and keep you. Until next time, peace.